Hey guys, I hope you're well. Decided to come outside to record this because Blitzen gets uptight sometimes. I have a few notes. I usually don't do that. And by the way, it's starting to sprinkle on me, probably fitting for the subject at hand, which is my hate for FT8. I don't go there too often these days in videos, but a couple comments got me going. And I'm going to fade into a screenshot, but let me address the comment. Here we go. Ralph, and I'll oftentimes say a commenter's first name. If it's not, I won't say their whole user ID. If anyone cares that much, they can go look for it. It's a matter of public record. But regarding my comment that FT8's destroying ham radio, maybe that's a little strong. Maybe I should have just said, I hate FT8, left it at that. But anyway, Ralph says, and I quote, perhaps FT8 has saved the hobby, to each his own. And my thought was, yeah, okay, that's fair enough. At least he was nice about it. And just now, and my reply to him, perhaps. Now he says perhaps FT8 has saved ham radio. And my reply to him, perhaps, because most quickly become bored, utterly bored with it, and wish to actually talk to people. Right? So, in response, dear Ralph said, you are talking rubbish. And again, fair enough. Right? If you're going to make comments that stir up emotion, you got to be able to take a hit now and then, man. Right? Americans fight fair. The Brits and the Irish do too. And then I see a comment by, I'm just going to say his first part of his ID. The initials CF, Charlie Foxtrot. He goes on, boy, it's really starting to rain. He goes on to lecture me about those, he says, for those of us who are deaf. Yeah, wait a minute there, son. You're both inferring something that's not accurate, and you're talking out of ignorance. You don't know me, man. You don't think I consider those that are hard of hearing or don't have hearing? One of my relatives that I was very close to growing up was my Uncle Walter. Walt. He was an incredibly skilled woodworker. He was born deaf. He also couldn't speak. Now, I grew up in Flint, Michigan. You know what we had a school for? I won't say the words. The Michigan School for the Deaf and... You want me to say the word? Dumb. That made me sick, even as a kid. Oh, how times have changed. I loved Walt. May he rest in peace. Out in Seattle, my best friend was a young fellow by the name of Anthony. He was an immigrant to the United States. He was totally deaf. He had no sense of hearing. He and I used to love to go and sit in Starbucks and have nice, long conversations in a word processor editor on my laptop. We'd take turns. It'd spin around and round and round it'd go, you know. I was closer to Anthony than probably anybody else out there. And, boy, I'm myself having a hard time understanding speech on television. Isn't the garden a disaster? I'm not having it this year. It's going to be covered with topsoil. And copying Morse code's getting to be more and more of a challenge. Now, I never said that the other digital modes were crap. No. Other digital modes support conversations where you can get to know somebody, make friends, have a social connection, and actually enjoy the hobby, rather than have a robotic computer crank out canned QSOs, and I use the word QSO very liberally because they're not QSOs, they're contacts. Right? Okay, if I haven't driven you away by this point, if you'd still like to see the video I recorded earlier today, as a matter of fact, regarding my hate of FT8, and I do, stay tuned. I gotta get inside. Bye, guys. Hey, guys, I hope you're well. I'm sitting in my lounge, otherwise called my office, watching a little bit of YouTube music videos, and I just saw a comment to an older video of mine pop up on my phone. It's usually how I become aware of them, because I don't use the YouTube comment function for my channel. It keeps changing the brightness. But this comment was regarding my old video called FT8 is Destroying Amateur Radio. And this comment was his comment. I hope you watch this video. His comment was simply, or has saved it, regarding what FT8 has done to ham radio, right? And his opinion, like that of mine, well, neither is right and neither is wrong. They're just opinions, right? But the reason why I stick to my guns and insist that FT8 is destroying amateur radio, maybe that's a bit of a misstatement. I think FT8 is destroying society. Yes, it probably brings a lot of newcomers into the hobby, but they quickly think it's ridiculous and leave. Or hopefully, they'll see that there's other aspects of the hobby and venture off into those, specifically talking to each other. Because that's my problem with FT8. Building a workbench, that's the subject of my very next video, because all shit has broken loose here. All hell has gone down. Life is not the same for me anymore. We'll talk about that in the next video. Utter disaster has happened here. Let's take a walk over and look at Jed's plow blade, since it's such a pretty day. Whoops, I don't know what happened there. See, guys, we are becoming a fractured society. We are losing our ability to communicate with each other. You ever wonder why so much anger and hatred and disrespect is taking place in a political arena? Oh my God. And I think, to me, the main problem is we've lost the ability to agree to disagree and have our differences and then laugh and be friends. We're losing that ability. We're living lives of text messages. We're living our lives via the typed word when we have all this ability to communicate, to actually communicate, right? People don't want to talk on the phone. They want to type, and I understand why. It can be more convenient, text messaging, unless you want to have a real conversation. And we're just losing our ability. The human attention span is becoming nil. And what do you stand to gain from FT8 socially? See, that's where my comments come from, a social aspect. We're falling apart socially. What are you using FT8? Are you going to make friends in strange, wonderful places? Are you going to make friends that have a different way of life? Are you going to gain new ways of looking at things and thinking of things because of your interaction with others around the world if you're using FT8? DX60A schematic. Of what social value is FT8? None. Is it a technical challenge? Oh yeah, sure. You know? Yeah. Is it cool? Oh yeah. I'd say so. It's wonderful. But it's an utterly useless part of amateur radio in a social sense. Useless. Can you turn your robot rig on and go take a crap and come back to see that you've worked DXCC? Nah, that's ridiculous. It's fun to clown around with and say, but that's ridiculous, isn't it? But what you can do is brag about all the countries you I'm starting to shake. What you can do is you can boast about the countries you worked and you weren't even at the rig. You could have literally been in taking a crap while you worked the rare one. Is there a challenge in working FT8? Oh yeah. It's not like, I'm not going to be stupid and say, yeah, there's no challenge. Sure there is. It's not like you're the only one on the planet that's going to be trying to work the rare one when using FT8. Many of the challenges a sideband or CW operator face are also faced by those who run FT8. It's still challenging. I'm being honest with you guys. The older I get, the more I look around and see how things are now, and I think about how things used to be. And yeah, younger folks like to laugh about the boomers. That's me, born in 1959. I'm a boomer, retired boomer, with fairly conservative views, very, very liberal socially. I literally grew up during my formative years with friends, playing with friends from all over the world. Several South American countries, Lebanon, Spain, France. I had a Native American friend named Bernie who had a metal brace on his left leg in the 4th and 5th grades. Sorry about the overexposure, but I've got my anti-shake turned on and I can't do any manual controls. I stick to my opinion with one modification. And it's the comment, it's the reply I left that fellow that left that comment. And see, he has the skill of communication. He stated his opinion in a provocative way that makes one think, made me think. Or maybe it's saving ham radio. And my reply was that perhaps, if only because one quickly becomes bored with FT8 and wishes and discovers the other wonders that the hobby has to offer, and they venture off and actually start talking and making friends. So, I hope you're well. I hope Jed works good this summer. Giving my sister my red tractor, my red mower, Mozilla. Yeah. So, thanks for listening. I'll be back with the reason why I'm building this workbench. I think you'll like what you see. I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys. All done but the top. Ready, willing, and able to support the mighty weight of a E.F. Johnson Viking 2.